guys, and welcome back. Today is going to be a very fun and experimental video. I had this idea for a little while, and yesterday I thought, why not just sit down and do this? So what am I talking about? I am very particular about colors and color undertones, and I used to mix different nail polishes together to get the right shade that I wanted, which, by the way, ignore these nails. They're in the video the entire time. I'm sorry. Anyways, so I thought, why don't I do that with eyeshadows? So I took some of my older eyeshadow palettes, ones that I don't ever use, and I crushed up eyeshadows, mixed them together to make my own. So that is what today is all about. I am mixing up 6 unique eyeshadow colors to make my own palette. I've always wondered what shades I would come up with if I were to make my own eyeshadows, and this isn't quite like making eyeshadows from scratch. I don't have a whole lot of control over what these colors turn out like since I'm mixing shades I already have, but I thought it would be fun. So I'm going to show you the process of this. I just filmed me mixing up different colors, and then I am going to show you what the shadows look like, do some swatches, and then I'm going to put them on my eyes. So let's get into the mixing process. All right, so these are the palettes I'm going to be using today, just showing you all the different shades I have to work with. I'm going to be using this Buxom palette to press my new shadows. So I'm getting the shadows out of this palette. I need to empty these completely because I'm going to put the new shades in here. I figured this palette would be the easiest one to completely empty out and repress, since the pans come out of the palette. I forgot I needed to swatch these, so I'm doing that, and then I'm going to continue getting all the shadows out of the pans. And I also decided to separate the mattes and the shimmers on different plates, so those did not get mixed up. Alright, and I decided to take these out of here because I wanted some pinky purples for this palette, so I am emptying the ones from this palette as well, and swatching, of course. And I'm taking some more, I need more mattes, so I'm taking some from these other palettes, and I'm not emptying them completely, but I am getting a good chunk of these shadows. I needed some more neutral tones, so I'm getting some from this Real Her palette. And now it's time to start making the first shade. I wanted to start with a matte, a nice transition shade that was kind of pink, kind of taupe, nice light to mid-tone mauve color. So there's a little bit of gray, a little bit of pink, a little bit of brown in there. Swatched that one and I was pleased, so now it's time to press this shadow. So to press my shadows, I try to get the powder as fine as possible, and then I add in some rubbing alcohol and mix it in the pan. And I've repressed several shadows in the past. This is the best way that I found to do it. I am using a butter knife. It would be easier if I had something slightly smaller, but it works. So I just mix it in the pan, and then I will tap it on the desk to level it out. I'm cleaning up the edges here. It's kind of off camera, but I'm just wiping the shadow off the edges. And there's my first shadow. Alright, it's time to move on to another matte. I wanted to get in a nice deep matte. So I'm adding several different browns, and then I wanted to keep it pretty cool, so I added in some gray. And I swatched this one, and I wasn't quite happy with it. It wasn't deep enough. I like the tone, but it was a little not deep enough. So I added in some, looks like burgundy and green, like a deep green and some dark brown. And this time it had a little bit too much of that green. It was a little bit too cool. So I added in some more warmer brown to it. And now it's time to press this one. Alright, that one's all cleaned up and leveled out. So there are my first two matte shades. I'm going to move on to my first shimmer. I wanted obviously a pink shade here. Very light pink shimmer. I think this shade is the one that I actually spent the most time on adjusting. I wanted more pink, and it didn't seem to have seemed pretty sheer, so I added in a few light matte shades to give it a little bit more punch and to lighten it up. And I wanted a little bit more pink, so I added this more cooler toned pink that's pretty light from the Naked 3 palette, and time to press this one. Man, if we watched this in real time, this video would be like 2 hours long. And there's a beautiful level shimmer. Alright, moving on to another shimmer. I wanted a silver-based shimmer, so got some silver, some purple, some pink. Clean that one up. And here it is next to the first one. Alright, I wanted another matte shade that was more of a warm brown for the transition. I'm using a lot of the bronzer from Too Faced for this shade. A little bit of pink. Try to keep it pretty warm and nice mid-tone, but with a little bit rosy undertone. This is when Lincoln joined me. You can see his little hands at the corner of the frame there. If it sounds like I'm whispering, it's because Lincoln is currently asleep. And the last shade is another shimmer. I wanted this one to be very silver, very light, and a little bit purple. So kind of a taupey, silvery purple, gorgeous color. And that is all the shades. Let's move on to seeing what they look like. Alright, so here are my shadows. I'm going to put them in the palette real quick. The mattes at one end. And then the shimmers on the other. Alright, and I decided to use this Buxom palette because I figured it would be the easiest to press shadows into, and you know, I can change them out and all that fun stuff. So let's put these in here. And there is my palette. It's not perfect, it's not all uniform and nice, but I am curious to see how these, I haven't touched them since they've dried, so I'm curious to see how they swatch and how they go on the eyes. Hopefully they turned out okay. Let's go ahead and swatch them first. So they all come off on my finger, which is a good sign. I'm interested to see how they do with a brush, but let's see. Not bad. The pink one's pretty light. A lot darker when you're mixing them and swatching them and pressing them, and then they lighten up. So like the shimmers I thought were gonna be really dark, and they're not. And these mattes are not quite as dark as I thought, but I'm curious to see how they go on the eyes. So let's swatch the shimmers. Oh my gosh. Okay, shimmers might be where it's at, guys. Oh, I love that one. That one's beautiful. Wow. Okay, so I definitely love the shimmers. I kind of wish I had a little bit deeper of a matte to go with these, but this was my first time mixing shadows, and I'm excited to see these on the eyes now. Oh, these shimmers are beautiful. Who knows, this may build up to deepen up a little bit. But let's get some eyeshadow brushes and put these on the eyeballs. All right, got my brushes, scoot in. Okay, so I want to start with the pretty light matte mauve pink shade and go in the crease. This is so cool. Oh, okay, that one's beautiful on the eye. Oh, okay, I love this already. I have a lot more shadows. I'm gonna buy some empty shadow pans so I can press some more colors. So if you want to see a part 2, let me know, because I'm planning on making some more, because I still have some shadow left from the destruction. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I could just put that on in my crease and then swipe one of the shimmers on my lid, and that's a beautiful simple everyday. You put a little bit on the lower lash line. Here's the first shade. I'm gonna take the deepest one and see how dark I can make it. Okay, that's more depth than I thought it had. I want to put more of the pink in the crease. Okay, I don't know which shimmer I want to use because they are all so beautiful, but I think I'm going to start with this one. Okay, this I think may be my ideal shade of shimmery lid goodness. Oh, it's got a beautiful taupe undertone. Okay, that is a color that I would totally make if I made eyeshadows. That would be a favorite for me. If I were to add something to this, I want something a little bit deeper, with some more pink undertone. I feel like I want a little more pink in my crease, but this isn't quite showing up as much. It shows up, but it's just not as pink as I mean, it's layering. It's just not quite as pop. I'm gonna take the pink shimmer shade. This one feels really soft, and I'm just gonna tap this on the outer corner. I'm trying to use all the shades just so I can see how they all go on. And I'm gonna take the lightest one and put that on my inner corner. Oh, that's a pretty inner corner. That is a gorgeous color too. And deepen this outer corner up just a little bit more. and then I'm going to take the deep shade on a smudger brush and go along the lower lash line. Alright, I'm going to put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the finished look with my crazy science experiment eyeshadows. So I think this was so much fun mixing these. I think that I definitely learned a lot about what the colors look like when they are being mixed versus when they are dry. So when I do this again, which I definitely am going to, I know that they're a lot darker before they're finished. So I will definitely make a little bit deeper of a shade next time, but I think for a easy everyday eyeshadow, this is actually really, really gorgeous, and it could be a go-to palette for me. I am in love with this shade right here. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how they'll wear. These are shadows all mixed together from different brands and different formulas. I don't know how they'll last, but I am definitely curious to see. All right, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you do wanna see a part 2 of me mixing my own eyeshadows, let me know in the comments below because I will definitely film that. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you wanna see future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay gorgeous. Bye. So. Wah. This mirror is really dirty. I always have a problem with patchiness on the outer corner of my left eye. No matter what I do, it seems like there's always patchiness there.